Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. We are back for another Manchester United match preview. You heard it right. It has been about 2-3 months. I've lost count now how long it's been since we last had a game. But the last preview I had scheduled to go was the Spurs preview. It got postponed. The preview got postponed. So here we are back again, and the game is here on Friday, the 19th of June. What the hell is that all about? And it's behind closed doors. It's really, really strange times. And with it being really strange times, I've got a bunch of strange brothers here with me called Joe, Jay, and D. Make sure you're subscribing to Straight Up, Scotty and Matty, and of course, Stretford Paddock as well. The links are all in the descriptions below. Lads, how are you doing? We'll come to you first, Joe, so everyone's not talking at once. How you doing, Joe?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. I'm so happy football's back. I'm so happy. I think, yeah, we've got so much to look forward to. It's a real time to reflect on all the things that are positive going on in the world. I don't know. I'm just very happy for football. That's about it, to be honest. I'm just excited.
There's definitely not much positive going on in the world apart from Marcus Rashford, to be honest. But there you go. Dean, how are you feeling with football coming ahead? Are you sharing Joe's optimism?
Not really, saying the truth, and that. No, we're just saying off camera, and obviously potentially what's gonna happen in, I don't know, this week, next week. But I'm not that ecstatic. I'm ecstatic because there's something now to actually. I've got something to actually watch on TV now. Like, I've not been watching the TV, so there's something to do tonight, and in the foreseeable. But I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical. Like, no fans. I think the fans are a massive part of football, and without fans there, it's just gonna be a bit different, and I hope it's not gonna be like the with other sports how it affects. Like, I just don't think football will be the same without the fans, without the atmosphere. But obviously, I try to be optimistic in it, and it's bloody hot. You get me? I had a baby last month. I was thinking, bro. There's no European football. There's no, obviously the Euros got cancelled. I think I'm gonna chill for the summer. And my child, nah, mate, football's back. So mad, but. Yeah, man, I try to be
Football's
positive.
Back, kids put to the side.
Yeah, bro, that's what I'm saying. It's mad. What
about you, Jay? You had to ditch your kids for football return?
I'm like, do you know what, right? Yeah, football's back and it's great. We've waited for it. And I'm sorry, I know people go on at me for going on about that down the M62 all the time, but I'm just dreading seeing them lift that title. I really am. So it's like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the football back in United. I've been dying for that. Obviously, it's what we do every week. But the inevitable is going to happen in probably 2 weeks' time with that, and that's the bit I'm dreading. I just want to fast forward past that bit and then get towards the end of the season. But yeah, I'm happy.
I don't want to age you here, but you're probably the only one here that can remember them winning the league, right?
But when I was a kid, they used to win like everything. Like when I was a little kid, and I think I was 10 when they last won the league title. And then when I started going to United on my own without my dad, we just won everything. It was mint. So it was just like, I've had it really good, and I've got like enough of that memory to vaguely remember them winning things. So it's almost like the best of both worlds if you can. So yeah, now it's going to be horrible. But I said it before anyway, but I'll say it again. Well, congratulations, D, as well.
Respect.
Oh yeah. Congrats to D.
Seen as Macca didn't.
I'm a deal here already, you joker. Don't make me look bad in front of the world.
I think Adam was one of the first people to know, because I think you texted me that literally when I was on my way to the hospital, because obviously because of COVID, I couldn't be supporting my partner and that. Like, so I had to literally arrive when my baby's literally on the way out. Like, so yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So congratulations.
Respect.
But we are here to talk about football. Don't hijack it with baby chat, yeah? D's probably sick of it already.
Bro,
Jay's already
sick of it. Baby TV and all that for the last couple of months right now. Coco Melon. If any other dads know the YouTube channels, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's where the views are at now. These kids
rewatch
videos.
No idea.
Bro.
We need to wear, like, I'll wear a Spider-Man suit. Joe can... What are you going to do, Joe? Captain America?
I'll be like, like Venom or something. Winter Soldier. I'll be Winter Soldier. He's got long hair, hasn't he? I'll be him.
Yeah.
Face mask.
D,
Winter Soldier. I'll fight you.
Who are you going to be, D?
Me?
We'll dress up. We'll get loads of views. Kids will just keep watching it.
I don't know, man. Let's get some animation going on it.
Yeah, there's some dodgy videos out there as well. Like I see my little cousin on watching Spider-Man videos, and then they start clicking on the videos on the side, and there's really some weirdos that are out there on those kids things.
True.
YouTube needs to
Bro,
sort it out.
I hear some songs about milkshakes and lasagnas and stuff like that, like the maddest concoctions of stuff, and it's got 3 billion views or something.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, I ain't even joking. Like, I hear some of the stuff like Apples and Bananas. The tunes got millions and millions. We got more views than probably Miley Cyrus or something like.
Yeah, the pen pineapple one did ridiculous, like 5 billion or something for pens and pineapples. You're not wrong.
All right, lads. Football's returning, yeah. Football is this is prime lockdown chat. I think a lot of things are going to start getting explained as lockdown stuff because that's going to be the era of the world. But football's back, man. Let's stop talking about lockdown stuff. Let's talk about football. We've already discussed Pogba in the midfield in Master Debaters, so we can check that out. I'll ask you, Dean. I don't want these lots' opinion. We've heard it. Should Pogba come straight back in or not?
100% yes. Pogba's our well for me. I'm going to speak for myself, but Pogba's our best midfielder, so he has to come back into his team. And no one's played football, so it's not like people talking about form and stuff. Like there is no form. We haven't played forever, so if again I think we spoke the other day on the straight up video in terms of it's literally it's a new day. So you need for me the best players need to be picked and played against Spurs. Like and Pogba's one of them. So Pogba 100% has to start.
Okay, we've sorted that out. But if you want to hear Jay and Joel's opinion, check out Master Debaters if you haven't seen it. Another hot topic of conversation is the defence. I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire are almost dead certs. One's our captain, one's our number one right back. I think they're dead certs. It's the other two positions which come under question. Obviously, Lindelof's been primarily playing in the partnership alongside Lindelof when we played alongside Maguire when we've played a two. But Twanzebe and Bailly are now fit. Luke Shaw's been playing at left back, but we know Brandon Williams is right behind him. Who do you think should start in defence, Joe?
I'm part of the. First of all, actually, let me just say I also agree that Paul Pogba is our best midfielder. I think he's our best player.
That's some Master Debaters not here.
No, I know. I just don't want people thinking I'm slagging Pogba off.
Well, you are
in the in the midfield, in the defence. Sorry. I don't quite understand all the hate that Lindelof gets. I don't think this season he's made that many mistakes that have led to goals. I think he's been dribbled around, it's like 0 or 1 times. I don't think he gets made to look a mug a lot. I know there's a couple of times he'll lose a ball in the air and someone will go past him and stick it in. But all defenders have weaknesses. I don't think, obviously as much as it pains me to say it, Van Dijk has sort of joined Ramos, although Ramos has got his sort of temper and that kind of thing. But these defenders where you sort of think they can do everything, they're quick, they're good in the air, they're good on the ball, they can pass it, they can bring it out, they're good at tackling. There's so few of them available. Every defender has his weaknesses, and I think we know what Lindelof's are. He's not particularly good in the air compared to, the real elite sort of aerial players like Maguire next to him. But I think he's been really good this season, and I think it's nice to have a player who has developed and formed a partnership with Maguire, and we've seen throughout the season how the defence has improved. I think we've conceded 2 goals in the last 11 games. And we've also got the second best clean sheet record in Europe. So I don't quite understand where this obsession to replace players who are playing well comes from. And in terms of left back, again, Brandon has been excellent and surpassed everyone's expectations. But when you think of who we're playing and the ways that we may have to play to get this game won, I would go with the solidity of Luke Shaw defensively. I think we've seen that Brandon is, I think, better than Luke Shaw going forward. He offers more of a threat in terms of assists and goals. But we did see against Sheffield United in the first half, and we saw in Europe, I think it was against Alkmaar, where he just looked a little bit shaky sometimes in his defensive positioning, did Brandon Williams. And I just wouldn't risk that against the likes of, depending on who's playing for Tottenham, obviously, but Kane and Kane Son and the other sort of players they've got. So I would go with Luke Shaw, but I think it's got to be Lindelof. In the same way that you want to say about, Pogba coming back into the side in midfield, Lindelof played like almost every game this season. I don't think he's made many mistakes. I think Eric Bailly has played, a dozen games in the last 2 years. I think it's difficult to replace someone who's been, for me, more solid than people give him credit for either someone in Twanzebe who's never played many Premier League games or someone in Bayer who has struggled to be fit for years now. So for me, there's no question about who joins Maguire at the back.
Agree, Jay? Dean?
I agree with some of that. I think some of the stick Lindelof gets a little bit harsh. I don't think he's had a great season. I thought he had a better season last season. I thought at the beginning of the season he was a bit patchy, especially bringing the ball out of defence. It's frustrating sometimes watching him sort of bringing on pressure a lot of the time, holding on to it a little bit too long when De Gea gives it to him. And admittedly, De Gea's got to take some responsibility there as well. But I'm with Joe on the fact that for this game especially, I don't think he should be messing about with a central defensive partnership, especially after the last sort of 2 months. It's looked better than ever. I think we were really coming into it just before lockdown defensively, and I think we had, is it something like the second highest clean sheets in Europe or something like that? Our defensive record was pretty solid. I'd go the other way around with the left back position, though. I agree, yeah, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and De Gea obviously start, but I would go with Brandon Williams. I think we were talking about this on the mass debaters when Joe was slagging off Pogba and saying how much he hated him, and I would say that I would. I think we should go at Spurs for this game. I think we should get at him, and I think Brandon Williams would be one of those players that would, as Joe was saying, he's better in attacking as an attacking fullback than Luke Shaw. And I think putting Spurs under that pressure could be the key to this as well, because I think Mourinho might go a little bit defensive as well. And if you're getting at him, I don't know. I think they've got frailty Spurs. They've not looked like a typical Jose Mourinho side in the sense that they've been solid. They haven't. They've had problems almost straight away. It's like he's having his third season, his first season at Spurs, and he's already, falling out of play. He's not getting the results that he's expected. So I think if United get at Spurs, I think we've got a real good chance of getting a win there, and it'll be a massive win for us. To come back from lockdown and get a win away at Spurs will be massive. So yeah, I would start with Brandon Williams, but it's paper thin margins at the minute between them two, because I get where Joe's coming from. Luke Shaw, he has improved. He's almost. I don't think he's quite there yet. He's almost back to the pre-injury Luke Shaw, but Brandon Williams has been a phenomenon. So they're almost at the same level. There's certainly a debate there where, on the right-hand side, there's no real debate. And as Joe pointed out, in terms of who we've got available, I don't really think now is the time to be messing about his centre-back partnership either.
Dean, would you change anything from the Lindelof partnership with Maguire or would you give it time?
Yeah, I mean, again, because we haven't been playing. I mean, if we was just continuing, I'd have said keep Lindelof there, but I'd put Eric Bailly in if he's fit. Tell you the truth, I agree with some aspects of what Joe was saying with Lindelof, but again, I just don't think he's nowhere near good enough in the air. Physically, he's not good enough at all for me. I think again, I just think a strong an imposing centre forward, and obviously we're going to be playing against Kane. I think you'd love to play against Lindelof, because I think again you're not going to stand against Maguire. Like you wouldn't want to. You're not going to. Well, again, I think some strikers maybe favour themselves against him. But if there's the two defenders, you're sticking on Lindelof. I just don't think people do that to Eric Bailly. So for me, I'd bring Eric Bailly in. Like I say, we've been off on this break anyway. So as long as you're fit, I think I would throw him back in there. In terms of left back, I do like Brandon Williams, but I think people get. Someone mentioned in terms of him going forward being better than Shaw. I disagree. I think he's more enthusiastic than Shaw going forward. But the actual end product, I think, like his actual control over the ball, etc. I think Shaw is still streets ahead of him. Defensively, I think it's a no-brainer that Shaw is a lot better than Brandon Williams. But again, because of this break, I'd start with Shaw. Tell you the truth, I think he was looking good before the break, and obviously, hopefully, if he's looked after himself, hopefully, like he can kick on. But like I said, I'd go with Shaw. Brandon Williams is a good option, but I wouldn't start him. I think. I don't know. Sometimes I think people get a bit carried away with Brandon Williams. To tell the truth, or like I say, for me, defensively, he's not good enough. Like at the moment, I'm not writing him off, but he's not this. I think defensively, I think Luke Shaw is a lot more secure a bet than Brandon Williams for me.
I disagree about him going forward. I agree defensively. I do still think Brandon better going forward in terms of. Yes, he has the enthusiasm, but he has those runs where he runs behind the defender. Luke Shaw's stopped doing that. A lot of it becomes he stops at the 18-yard box line, cuts it back, and it's become a habit of his now where he doesn't push on anymore.
He doesn't lose the ball as much though. Luke Shaw doesn't. I think, and I know obviously you need to gamble, but in terms of going forward, like I say, his enthusiasm is I like of Brandon Williams, but final ball I don't see. I'm not seeing. Look, I'm not. you know, like I don't see him going down the left and like whipping in balls, and it's like, you know, like yeah, like every single ball he puts in is in this mad dangerous ball. I think Luke Shaw's got better distribution. I know, like I say, he does sometimes cut back, but I think that's because of experience. I think he knows certain times we need to hold on to the ball here, or we can square this across the pitch or whatever. But like I said, for me, I'll go with Luke Shaw in it. But
I get where you're coming from. I think with Shaw though as well, he's looked a little bit better as part of a back three. You know, when he's played on the left-hand side of back three.
As a left centre-back, yeah.
Yeah, he's had some of his best games there. And I don't know, I just think it's mad that, you know, what has he been at United now? 5 years, and we're still debating whether he's good enough. We're still debating whether he starts over a teenager. You know, I know he had that injury, but that was a few seasons
ago. That massive injury.
I know he was. Listen, he was flying before that injury. I thought he was our best player that season before the was it PSV got injured against. But yeah, but it's been a while now. You can't keep going back to that and saying, well, you know, and he's getting there, but I still don't know. I still think there's some question marks on Luke Shaw, and I think his positional sense for me just leaves a little bit to be desired. I think, you know, Mackie was talking about him going forward. He does stop, but also he tends to. I don't know why. I think being as part of a back three suits him because he does tend to drift inside a little bit. Sometimes he needs to get further out wide, especially when you've got a winger who's going to sort of, you know, hug the touchline. So yeah, I mean, listen, I think we're in a better position left back wise than we've been for a long time. I'll give you that. I think, like, you know, I wouldn't be like gutted if Luke Shaw starts. I wouldn't be gutted if Brandon Williams starts. Where in the past you're looking at going, oh, Young's past it or whatever. I think we're a lot stronger now than we have been, which is, you know, it's good to see, really.
I'd go with Shaw for this one. I'd go with Brandon if it was at home, though. That's for sure. Excuse the horrible pun. Moving on from that.
Who's peering over them glasses on your t-shirt, bro? I can just see it at the
David
bottom.
Beckham, bro.
Oh, okay. I could just see like eyes like this. I'm thinking, bro, who's that?
Did you think I had Brad Pitt on my t-shirt?
I don't know, bro. I don't know, innit? Like, it's 2020.
Should already know. It's David Beckham. It's 2020.
I don't know.
Fuck's sake. Moving on. Is anyone worried by Jose's Spurs? And how do you think we should approach this one? Is a draw a result? Get out of there with a draw, or do you want us to go there for the win like we did last season? Come to you first, Dean.
Man, need to go and attack. That's what we need to go and do. I said this the other day, and it like I think this is got an unknown commodity. Like having this big break, I think we just need to go and attack them. Like I think to be honest, I think every single team. I think you just need to go and attack the opposition because no one really knows how people are going to react in this scenario. Like I say, I was joking the other day on a straight up video about because there's going to be no fans, certain things you're just going to miss. And like I say, you're going to get people, these lapses in concentration. You haven't got 60,000 people shouting to your man on or shoot or square it or whatever it is. And I think some things people are like, it's going to be like deer in the head, like sort of thing where people think they've got more time than they have because, like I say, they're used to, like I say, at Old Trafford. Well, I know we're not playing at Old Trafford, but when we play at Old Trafford, for example, certain people you would know, if someone's closing down on me, I'm gonna hear 70,000 people shout "man on." That ain't happening now, or these little bits of intensity. So for me, I think we need to just go and attack them. I think going forwards are the strongest like ability that we have. So I think we just go and attack them, innit? Like again, that's why I've said previously. You put Pogba and Bruno in the same team and just go and attack them. And just look to score goals.
Yeah, that'll have defensive issues as well.
Yeah, so
Tanganga's out. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if Lloris is back. I know he was injured for a bit. But I just got to just shoot and attack. That's me, bro. Without no fans, bro. I just want to see attacking football. I don't.
Should we go stand outside the ground? Just go shoot.
They need to have that playing on loop if they're talking about having songs, fan songs, and all this nonsense. Like, I just want to see attacking football, bro. I don't want to see no defensive football. I want to see that straight entertainment.
Jay,
I agree.
Sorry, Joe. Go on, Joe.
Maybe slightly more reserved than that, but I just think, who knows what Tottenham are going to look like? We know that we've got a better side now than we did before lockdown, and most teams can't say that. Especially midfield, especially when it comes to creativity. We're already on the way up with Bruno coming in with a bit more assuredness in terms of attacking teams and creating goals. We've now got Rashford, who's never played with Bruno. We've got Pogba, who's never played with Bruno. Arguably our two best players before Bruno came in. Well, actually, I would say inarguably our two best players before Bruno came in this season. I just think the best thing we can do is win the game. And I know that just sounds stupid and obvious, but go out, look better than Tottenham and beat them. And I think and I'm not saying that because that's just, it'd be nice to win. That's what we're capable of, and that's what we should be doing. We should go out and go, hang on a sec, we're just better than Tottenham, aren't we? Because you look at our team, and we are better than Tottenham. And there's been too many games and too many times.
That's incredible, though, right? That you can say that because
when
about 12 months ago, or Mourinho's United, we felt inferior to Spurs. We felt like Poch was taking them in the right direction. Jose was taking us in the wrong direction. So for you to now say that kind of is credit to Alli, or maybe criticism of Spurs as well?
Well, it's credit to a few things. It's credit to the improvement of Fred and McTominay, who have gone from going, we need to replace them, to actually these can be a key part of a very good side. It's credit to the improvement of Rashford, who's gone from scoring 10, 12, 13 goals a season to, I'd be surprised if he didn't get 25, or certainly the way he was going, we don't know how he'll come back, but he was on 19 goals with about 15 games still to play. So, he's doubled his output. Martial, again, he's not necessarily doubled his output, but he's on for his best goal-scoring season. We've got Wan-Bissaka who's improved the squad. We've got Maguire who's improved the squad. And again, even when Mourinho took over Tottenham, people were looking man for man. They've got a really good starting 11. We didn't know how good Ndombele would be. We know that Son's excellent. We've got Harry Kane, all these sorts of players. But United have come and sort of snuck up on a lot of teams. And snuck up on me as well. They've surprised me with how they've turned things around and just the feeling around the club. I don't think it's a must win, but if we lose, it's going to be a real kick in the bollocks, because we've got all this. We've had 3 months of a relatively happy feeling around Old Trafford, which is something we haven't had in a long time. And this lockdown has been like, actually, we're pretty good here. Let's come back. Let's surprise people. And if we lose, it'll just feel like, everything that we thought, and we're just back to where we were. I really think we need to attack them. We need to score goals, and we certainly need to not lose, which is why I would go with Luke Shaw. I think we've got enough players in midfield and in attack to create chances even without Brandon Williams. I would, like I've said before, potentially even risk bringing Paul Pogba off the bench if he's not fully fit. I still think we've got enough to attack and to beat Tottenham. And let's not risk, getting people injured or doing anything that's going to affect the rest of the season. I think we've got a really good chance to have a really positive end to the season, and it has to start with points against Tottenham.
Go on, Jay.
I agree with D. I think we just get him. I mean, you look at, I know you're talking about form has gone out the window because we've had this massive break, but Spurs, just before lockdown, they were in complete disarray. I mean, I think they got knocked out of the FA Cup, didn't they, by Norwich. Jose said you can either choose between the league or you can choose between the Champions League, and then got battered 4-0 on aggregate by Leipzig and drew with Burnley anyway, after he made this big statement about you've got a choice. So he didn't win any of them. So like, you've got a choice. You can either not win this one or not win either. Or not win that one. Oh, we won't win any. And get knocked out of the FA Cup as well. So it's just like, it's like I was saying earlier, Jose's having his third season, what we've all seen, and his first season at Spurs. And yes, I always get with Jose Mourinho, he has got it in him to pull a result out of the bag, to set up tactically and just get it right. He's still got that in his locker, but it's not been great for him at Spurs. Even in lockdown, things haven't been great for him. Do you know what I mean? We're talking about Marcus Rashford and all this positivity. Spurs have gone the other way. He's been falling out with people. He's been having dramas, just being Jose. So I think now is an ideal opportunity with I still think there's that positivity at United. We've got Pogba coming back. We've got Rashford coming back, which is a bonus because he wouldn't have been playing in this game. There's no chance he would have been. So yeah, I just think we just got to tap into that and just get at him. And I think, yes, it's going to be weird not having a crowd there, but that, in a sort of perverse way, it's probably an advantage for us because it is a home game for them, and they haven't got the 70,000 fans or whatever they'd have compared to our 2,000 or 3,000. So for me, I'd just get at him. Yeah, just take the game to them, put them on the back foot, and then just sort of get their heads to drop. Because I think, as everyone said, player for player, we're better than them. And as you said it earlier on, it's quite amazing because you look at when Pochettino, just before he got sacked, if you looked at his bench, he had players like Lucas Moura, Ericsson, Winks, and those types, Alderweireld on the bench when we were struggling, really struggling. And now you look at it, and it's almost like a complete reversal. There's not many Spurs players that get into our team, and I never thought I'd say that 6 months ago.
And I don't think we should underestimate either the power of public opinion in terms of football as well, where when pundits decide that you're good, and when fans decide that you're good, and newspapers decide that you're good, teams get confidence and teams get on a roll. And United seem to be on that roll at the minute, where for the first time, I actually think since since Fergie left, I know we had a decent season under Mourinho, but no one ever gave us any credit because people don't like Mourinho and they don't like United. So that was too much of a hurdle to overcome. For the first time in a long time, you see the likes of Paul Merson and of pundits and of Sky and of newspapers coming out and saying, this United team's good, watch out for them next season, watch out for them after lockdown. And it gets people go
Paul
to ground.
Merson always talks sense.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter whether they talk sense or not. In fact, it's almost more important that they don't, because that's the thing. They're willing to say whatever they want on any given day, but they do influence people's opinions. They influence who tweets what. They influence all sorts of things. So when you've got a team that's like, if you see other players for other teams going, United are quite good, aren't they? Everyone thinks United are good. People, we've seen it with Liverpool this season. People have gone to play Liverpool and they're 1-0 down in their heads already. And I don't think we're at that stage yet. But it's a direction that we haven't been moving in so long, and if as long as we keep that, I think it really can help improve the confidence and improve the performances as well.
100%. We've kind of got everyone's goalkeepers, back fours already in there, and the midfields. The only position I'm not sure of at the moment is who plays on the right. We're assuming Rashford, Marshall. Who would you guys go with there? Pereira, Lingard, Danny James, Mason Greenwood?
For this one, I'd probably go with Dan James. I think that, I love Mason Greenwood, and I think next season he's going to have a massive season. I just think Dan James was looking, he had a little bit of a dip in the middle of the season, Dan James, but I think he was coming out of that now and he was looking sort of back to his early season form. So I know, yes, you can say, well, it's, all bets are off in terms of form or whatever, but I think he's, for this game, I think especially, and he's a player. Either option is great because they're both, great attacking players, exciting players to watch as well. But I think Dan James will cause them all sorts of problems. And I think, as we mentioned before, if you get at Spurs and you've got someone like Dan James who's absolutely rapid, then they're gonna struggle. I think they really will struggle, and I think that could sort of work to our advantage as well. So, listen, again, it's a great feeling to have, because if Mason starts, you're not going to be disappointed. And it's the same, we spoke about Shaw and Williams and the Pogba situation. I wouldn't be disappointed whatever happens, but for me, I'd probably just about go with Dan James for this one.
Anyone disagree with that?
It depends who plays in midfield. If we have Pogba and Bruno, I would go with Dan James, just because I think he's more willing to get back. He's got more legs and more energy than Mason. We saw that against City, and I think Dan James was really good in some of the bigger games we had toward the end of the season, or the end of the break in the season. But if we've got Bruno, Fred, McTominay, I would go with Greenwood. He offers more, he creates more from that side, and he's got 12 goals this season. And people say, he scored again in the Euros, whatever. Like Divock Origi's never scored 12 goals in his career. Like there are players in teams who, main strikers for a lot of teams in football who their top scorer doesn't get 12 goals in a season, and he's the third highest, and he's been 17 for half of it. He's 8. Like it's such a threat, and it's easy to just, he scored a goal against whoever he scored, Genk or LASK or one of the 4-letter European teams that you play against every other season. But he's got loads of goals and he can score goals against any defence. And at Tottenham, I don't actually know who their left back is. Who is their left back? Does anyone know? Does Jose Mourinho know Tottenham's left back is? So I reckon if you put Mason Greenwood on that side, it might be Ben Davies. You put Mason Greenwood on him, especially if we don't have Pogba in there. That's it, bend over. So he's getting Mason Greenwood coming up against bend over on that side. I think you've got I would go with that, depending on the midfield. But yeah, otherwise Dan James, he just offers a bit more defensively.
Against Leipzig, they had Sesson on. Against Burnley, they had Vertonghen.
Right, so they're struggling. Let's just call it they're struggling.
If Vertonghen's back, you have to put James against him, innit?
Yeah, the speed.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Joey. I think it depends on the midfield three, because like I said, if Pogba and Bruno play, I think you probably do need to play James, because obviously their passing could exploit, especially over the top or in behind. But obviously, if they don't play, then I'd probably mirror what you're saying. Go with Greenwood, tell you the truth, because he's technically sound, and I think he can create a lot of chances himself between the forward three of Rashford and Martial also.
100%. Right then, score prediction times. I'll go clockwise. Dean, what's your score prediction, bro?
All right, but I'm gonna go with the same prediction that I gave on the straight up thing the other day. So I'm saying we're gonna win 6-3, and like I said, bro, this is a new day, isn't it? Like no fans.
I never saw that coming. I never saw that one coming.
Teams could start getting slack.
They've been watching too many of them kids programs.
What a game! Rugby union.
Bro, with no fans, yeah. I reckon I reckon there could be I'm hoping anyway. I'm hoping there's just goals. So hopefully we don't concede. But I reckon, like I say, 6-3 United and 6-3 United. And
I absolutely
don't know,
love that. And I know exactly where you're coming from as well.
That's what we need. We need this, and it. We've like I know it's not the end of a proper game, but I think our friendly game was 4-4 or something. Like like there's goals without fans. I think it's a different.
And there's more play time as well, isn't there? The ball's in play more, which could help Deed's argument to try and defend his prediction. I hope he's right. I just really.
I'm gonna put some money on it because if it does come true, I've said it twice now.
Especially Tottenham as well. We've seen some like ridiculous results against Tottenham down the years. We've seen 5-3s. We've seen that kind of thing a couple of times. So it's not crazy. It is a bit crazy.
Go on, Jay. What's your prediction?
Mate, I think in the 7 years, whatever I've been doing predictions, I've never seen anyone say a 6-3. But I'm with you. I'm gonna have to put money on that now because if it comes in, I'll be gutted.
True.
I'll be gutted. So I might just stick a 500. You probably get about 500 to 1 or whatever. I think even if we get at him, I think it'll still be a tight game. I think Jose is going to set up quite defensively. So I'm gonna go for United win, but I think it'll be close. I'll probably go with 1-0, and I fancy Daniel Rashford to get the winner. Star of the moment.
What a guy like Daniel Rashford. I almost feel a bit pathetic saying like 2-1 now, so I'm going to go 3-2 to United. I do agree that there'll be goals, and I reckon they'll come at both ends, to be honest. So yeah, I think we're going to win though. And this might sound stupid. I reckon it'll be like a comfortable 3-2. I think we'll be 3-1 up, and they might get a late goal, something like that. I think we might rest some players. We've got 5 subs. We can see. I think we might see a lot of late goals in games. With us having 5 subs, you're getting fresh legs on, coming up against players who have probably never been as tired in their lives. So I reckon we're going to see. I reckon maybe 2-1 to United, and then 3-1, and then they get a late one, but it never looked close. I'm going to go 3-2 United.
I'm going to go 2-1 United. I think I'm quietly confident that we're going to do it, which is scaring me now when I think about it, because we are still 5th, which is weird. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to these lot for joining in. Make sure you follow me on my socials. You're subscribing to all the channels straight up. Scotty and Matty, Stretford Paddock, AdamMcKola TV. Get your predictions in, your 11s in, all of that jazz. Football is back. The title charge begins here this Friday. It's going to start with a United win of 6-3, apparently.
Was that house looking like the brother of Hangover there? Or is that not?
Yeah, that's Alton. Looking like Alan from The Hangover, yeah.
Has he got his man bag? Has he got his man bag?
He's got